Hi, I'm Wes Warren. I'm here with Greg Stanley, and today's topic is really centered around motivating a team. Greg, I'll take this. We were talking about this obviously just before we got on, and you had some pretty good analogies about this. So first, let us know what exactly we're going to talk about this week.
Okay. Uh, a lot of offices now have replaced some staff, sometimes a lot of staff, and we're just not seeing the motivation we did before. And I wanted to go back to a concept I learned when I was a magician, not a musician, a magician. I used to put on magic shows. And I read about Harry Houdini, who was known for gathering crowds, who would pull strangers out of the crowds, wrap his hands in chains and locks, his legs and feet with chains and locks, put him in a cage, wrap that with chains and locks, lower it into a river. In other words, this guy has no possible way to get out, but he did. He always got out. And when he didn't, they think he did it on purpose. They think he died on purpose. But that's what we see with staff. When staff are motivated, you can give me a lackluster associate, a half-committed owner, just marginal marketing, all kind of weaknesses in a practice. But if staff are motivated for the outcome, which tends to be from bonus, you can wrap them in chains and put them in a cage and sink them in the river, and they'll just come out every time. In fact, it's amazing. Once in a while, we meet the doctor who knows very little about managing staff, but hires us and says, I'll do whatever you say. And I always say, you really mean that? Well, let's start with this bonus. And he does it. And before he turns around, he's got more business than he can handle. And he literally sends up the white flag. We had a doctor in Michigan once who was in so deep, she was in debt from past due monthly payments, labs, et cetera, of $500,000. We put a bonus in place that we knew was not sustainable. And that bonus, she held it in place. Practice went from under $20,000 a month to $104,000 the next month. And she was in so deep, it still took 2 years for her to dig out, but she dug out. In other words, some of you think that you want to do bonus, but only the minimum it takes. Well, if you've got a pretty good return on investment, you got a product like endo, placing implants, whatever it happens to be, where you can do well, if you don't bonus right, trust me, staff, whether you did it or not, staff will act like you've wrapped them in chains and sunk them in the river. They're just absolutely unmotivated.
I can see where, a doctor sitting here, well, certainly we talked to a lot of them. They tried bonus, didn't work, or it got stale. It got to become some kind of entitlement. Really, the motivation started to disappear. What do you say to all those kind of comebacks to this?
Well, you got to ask yourself at the beginning, what's driving the practice? The doctor or the staff? Who's the one pushing? Not pushing patients to buy, but pushing the practice to produce. Mm-hmm. And so often it's the doctor pushing staff who are literally pushing back. Yeah. And because, they've heard us talk about bonus once on a podcast or something, they kind of thought they had that figured out. Bonus is a living thing. It's a living organism. It has to be changed, modified, adjusted to optimize profitability. Let me show you the absolute opposite of this concept. We've had doctors do this. They say, I tried bonus, it didn't work. I'm just going to give everybody a raise. And we always find out later it's because that's what they asked for. We don't want bonus, just give us all $4 across the board. And what he does is they increase everybody's pay and they get less work than they were getting before with the bonus and all that. In other words, now they've got the overhead of the jacked up staff costs and they don't see the motivation, they don't see the sales. Let me tell you how bad this gets. We were working with a practice in the Southwest, was able, they finally cracked the marketing code. They were getting 220 new patients a month flowing through the practice. And because the staff weren't that motivated, they stood back and watched those people leave the practice one after another, dozens a day, without buying anything, and didn't even point it out. The doctor noticed it 3 months later, calls us, and we go in and have to shake things up. In other words, unmotivated staff can go through the motions in a way that you are flattering yourself. If you think you can see their lackluster behavior, their lack of engagement, they know how to move, how to talk, and make it sound like it's supposed to happen. But trust me, it's different when they've got to make it happen to survive, like you do.
I think the question that you posed earlier is who's driving the practice? Who's the driving force? Is it you or is it the team? Is it a leader on the team and not everybody else? Sometimes that's the case where it's you and maybe a leader and that's it. That's the answer. So if you want to know if you've got a team, a bonus system working, if you're feeling the whole team pulling and you're just along for the ride, then it's working. Greg, what causes it not to work? You said, you got to tweak it, you got to adjust it. What are things that you see where you see a bonus that you come in, they got a bonus, but it's not working? You're not getting that effect I was just talking about?
Usually it's pretty blockaded. For example, maybe it's built around same day. A lot of great bonuses are same day bonuses, but the doctor won't get off his personal computer and go in and make it possible to deliver the same day. And that's when staff turn to us and say, how are we supposed to get bonus? We can't pry that guy out of his office with a crowbar. And so, that's one problem. Another problem is we desperately need another operatory. There's one sitting there, but we won't equip it. We desperately need this or that, and staff want it to happen. When you get that, we should be on our knees being thankful. That's what we want. It's happening, Wes, when doctors call us and say, can you back these people off? I haven't had lunch in 6 weeks. They work me through lunch. They keep me there late. That's when the staff are driving the office.
Yeah, some of the things that I notice with bonuses, like you said, sometimes the carrot is too high for the rabbit to come and get it. The bonus is set up in a way that is elusive, difficult to get, where it's not predictable that they're going to get it. And what happens is out of 3 months, maybe 2 months, they know they're not going to get it, and they just don't even try. And the 1 month that they are going to get it, it's only till the end of the month that they realize it, and then you see the motivation. And so monthly bonuses, we've kind of moved away from because of this thing. And like you said, gone to more same day bonuses, same day treatment bonuses, bonuses on production per day, setting goal at the beginning of the day. We came in with 8. If we get to 11, here's the bonus for everybody.
Let's be honest. Most people hearing this would probably be thankful if today had 11 on the books, if we came in at 11 or even 10-5. Most people aren't even staying with what they post to begin with. So
Yes.
Your bonus is working when they start going past. We typically put it between 15 and 20% above what's scheduled on today. Now, let's look at a couple thoughts. So often we'll go to a leader and say, what do you think we could achieve? And their assessment is a lot greater than what the doctor would think. And so that's always kind of encouraging because the doctor thinks he's going to get abused by it somehow. So like you said, if staff can believe in it, 15%, 10,000 a day, they can believe 1,500, 2,500, do whatever makes them respond and start being the ones pushing. pushing for production, not pushing patients, pushing the practice. When you get staff pushing for production, here's some changes that take place. The doctor spends all of his time making money. Number two, the leaders spend all of their time making bonus possible, moving things around, moving patients around, whatever they have to do so we can still get bonus. In fact, that's the high evolution of a leader, to massage the practice in such a way that bonus is always on the table. Yeah, some bonuses go off the rails. For example, we change how many operatories you got. We change what kind of, we're offering implants now, placement. We're doing something we weren't doing, or we're spending another 10,000 in marketing, or doing something that probably makes the bonus too much of a given. Granted, there is such a thing. However, you need to adjust for it, and it's not out of the question to have staff discuss this with you, your leaders. Okay, now we have 2 more operatories equipped as of Saturday. What do you think is a realistic go forward to shoot for? And I mean, they'll give you something. You know why? Because they've sat there and counted in their minds what could have been done had we had these 2 operatories.
Right.
Had you, got out of your office and got out there, whatever. Staff already know these things. Who is it? Some Greek philosopher said he could move the world if you had a big enough lever. You can
Archimedes.
Archimedes, yeah. You can move a practice with bonus. Now, it may not be as profitable as just hiring a bunch of great people, I don't know, and hoping that they all get really engaged. But you can create miracle month after miracle month if you can find that sweet spot and stay there. Not easy to do. Nobody said it's easy.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing our practices that are really moving in the right direction, growing. They're spending roughly 3% on bonus in their office. Now, they're making that back because the office is much more efficient. And so staff costs generally stayed the same or similar as far as a percentage. But you've got to be willing to put that out there, that they can make 3% of the gross spread out amongst them in bonus.
I've seen the difference, or the delta between a practice doing 150,000 a month before bonus and after bonus doing 2.25 or even 250. And so they spent 4,000 or 5,000 in bonus, and they made, after labs, incredible gains. So I know there was a time when people were thinking, well, with this new generation, they won't be driven by bonus or whatnot. I can tell you this, generation after generation, without a reason to push, without a reason to engage, and they just sit there and go through the motions.
We're seeing this across the country, as far as people that we work with. Bonus has to be really on the table, and it can't be before, go back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you could set targets and it was a little bit above where you're at, and half the time they hit it, half the time they don't, and you'd get the motivation from your team. This new crowd, the target's got to be right there. It's got to be something they know they can hit the first month, or else you won't see the motivation.
So many people's bad experience with bonus is having 2 or 3 people achieve excellence in their area and get a big bonus, and others go, well, what about me? Am I chopped liver? I mean, come on. In a sales organization, commissions are paid based on production, as opposed to you make a sale, everybody gets a little something. The world would literally stop turning around if we did that.
Yeah, the more you can make your bonus is what we call eat what you kill, just like Greg's talking about. You produce it, you sell it, you make it happen, you get a little something for it.
Just a thought to us, a lot of people have worked with us where they will talk with us on the phone about the bonus they're going to give. They have us make adjustments, they got it all in their head, and they can't pull the trigger at the last minute. They can't sleep at night for fear their staff's going to take advantage of them somehow.
Yeah. So
And
first, yeah, first thing is always introduce a bonus that, hey, we're gonna try this next month.
yeah,
Don't allow the expectation to be ongoing. And if a few $1,000s is gonna ruin your life, yeah, maybe,
you got bigger problems.
maybe you got bigger problems, so, but I'm telling you, out of all the things that we've seen at Whitehall, be the single most effective thing, bonus is number one by a long shot. And I'm talking ahead of marketing, ahead of everything.
Yeah, Wes said he used the term 3%. At 3 to 3.5%, I can't agree more. That's a number that you should be able to make everyone happy. Leaders, based on how they're managing the person, treatment presentation, TCs, all of that. So if you want to do a consultation right before you pull the trigger, we're here. And in some of you, I know you almost need us on the phone when you do it. I get that. It's terrifying to say, okay, if we do this, because part of you is afraid it won't work. Part of you is terrified it will work and will cost you money. And maybe there's some hidden, unforeseen consequences. Trust me, it's just the irrational fear of the unknown. Let's move forward with this.
Yeah, so if you got questions or you want to modify your bonus, or if you're thinking about introducing a bonus, yeah, I'll talk to us. We'll outline exactly what we would do. So yeah, jump on with us. There's a link with this webinar, and you can get on with us and we can talk through your bonus situation. Put you in the
And I
right.
tell you, being a part of this office, working at the head of this office, you will enjoy what you're doing. Everybody's anticipating what you want from them. They're wondering, what can I do to get more bonus? Let me tell you, the world is trying to figure out how to charge them more money for food, for cars, for clothes, for everything. Let's give them a chance to fight back.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening.